Please give him a hand. Thank you, sir. On the futures of oil and gas pipelines in India. We have we have a wonderful audience here from Bangalore, from Chennai, from Kolkata. People have flown in from Delhi, Raipur, Maharashtra, Hyderabad, and Chennai. I thank you all on the behalf of Underground Magnetics. I would request Sri A.K. Tripathi ji to please do some honors for our guests who are here. Sri Hitesh Patel ji, please come on the stage, sir. Once again. Mr. Lalit Nahata ji. Shri G.S. Rao ji, sir, please come on the stage. Vishal Umar ji and Sanjeev ji, sir, both together. Thank you, sir. Lalit ji, can you please come on the stage to do some honors for our GAIL Gas team? Please come. Thank you. Pradeep ji, I would like to invite you on the stage to do the honors for BPCL team. Mr. Manohar, sir, please come. Mr. M.J. Ravi, please come on the stage. Thank you, sir. Vivek ji, can you please come on the stage to do some honors? Mohit and Akshay. Mr. Ujjwal and Mr. Murthy, you're from Synergy and Sai Deepa. Mr. Ravi, can you please come on the stage to do some honors? Mr. Akbar Khan, please come on the stage. Nikhil Patel. Mr. Vardharaju. Mr. Vishal. Lamb. Thank you, sir. Thanks for doing it. To do the honors for Sri Angamuthu, sir. Thank you, sir. I would like to call Mr. B. Manohar. Sir, can you come and do the honors for Sri Mahavir ji? Mahavir ji, thank you. Lamp lighting ceremony, which will be the honors would be done by Shri Atul Kumar Tripathi ji. Thank you, sir. Thanks for coming. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now I would request Sri Atul Kumar Tripathi ji to please come on the podium and say a few words about the industry, and GAIL. Please welcome Mr. Atul Kumar Tripathi ji.
Namaskar. I welcome you all to the Oil and Gas Pipeline Summit at Bengaluru. I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to address this August gathering in the Garden City. Really, it's my first appearance to any public summit after COVID 19, which has started in the year 2020. But I will request everybody to follow the COVID guidelines so that we should not again fall into that third wave. As you know, in the development of the civilization, energy plays an important role, and it's true for India also. Ours is a geographically vast country with a mix of motley culture. With 1.3 billion people, India desperately needs the energy to fuel its economic growth. It is the world's third largest energy consumer in the world after China and USA. And India's primary energy demand is expected to grow by around 4.2% in the coming next 20 years, that is till 2040, which will be much faster than any other major economy in the world. Oil and gas sector within the energy mix plays a predominant role, as over one third of the energy need is met through the hydrocarbons only. Growing economy and population are the major drivers for the oil and gas demand, which is increasing year on year basis. Our government has spearheaded many reforms to address this demand, with a number of policy reforms and initiatives, and attain the primary priorities like energy access, energy efficiency, energy sustainability, and energy security. These initiatives are also taken up to remove any obstacles to the infrastructure investment in oil and gas sectors. On the line of ease of doing business, minimum government, maximum governance, and to promote Make in India initiatives. As you know, natural gas has a lesser carbon footprint. Our government is committed to expand the share of natural gas in its energy mix up to 15% by 2030. At present, the share of natural gas in the energy mix is approximately 6.2% only. And if we compare this 6.2% in comparison to other world economies, we are almost one third, or rather one fourth, to the global average. If we compare with the USA, the natural gas composition in the energy basket is somewhere around 34%, whereas in Japan it's approximately 21%, whereas in China it is 10%. And China is also planning to expand their natural gas use up to 14% by 2030. With the aggressive growth in the gas sector coupled with the unleashing of the animal spirit within our economy, India can bring closer to its desired target. At present, the natural gas grid in the country predominantly current the western, northern, and southeast gas consumption centers with the major gas sources in India. To provide the clean energy in the eastern part of India, Pradhan Mantri Urja Ganga Pariyojana is under implementation through Jagdishpur Haldia Dhamra Bokaro pipeline. which will be increasing the total length of the natural gas pipeline by somewhere around 2600 kilometer. To connect the Northeast India with the national gas grid, Barauni-Guwahati pipeline is also under construction as part of the Jagdishpur-Haldia pipeline project. Apart from this, already work has been started on Indradhanush gas grid limited pipeline and Mumbai Nagpur Jasugada gas pipeline, Srikakulam Angul pipeline, and some part of KKBMPL is already completed and remaining portion is under construction. As you know, GAIL has been uh, incorporated in 1984 and it started its journey as a central public sector unit under the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas after decoupling itself from its parent company, that is ONGC. GAIL is currently operating around 14,000 kilometers of natural gas pipeline network, 2,000 kilometers of LPG pipeline network across the India. GAIL India Limited commands the 75% market share in gas transmission and has a gas trading share of around 50% in the India. GAIL and its subsidiaries JVs are also have formidable market share in the CGD business. GAIL supplies the natural gas to the 55 percent of the like it feeds the around 55% of power generation through gas-based power plants. GAIL is enhancing our natural gas infrastructure to 4K, that is Kutch to Kohima. Kutch is the western part of India and Kohima is the eastern part of, I should say that it is the extreme end of the eastern part. Then Kanyakumari to Kashmir, connecting the gas sources to the major demand centers. To achieve this, GAIL has aligned itself strongly with the vision of Government of India to shift the nation towards gas-based economy by increasing percentage of natural gas up to 15% in the energy mix. Energy security is a crucial for our country, hence GAIL is pushing its targets and strategies towards the goal of achieving energy security while considering the environmental issues also. India's energy use has increased compared to the past. However, if we compare, the per capita energy consumption is still 1/3 of the global average. Over 230 million population is still don't have the access to the clean and affordable energy for their use. In our objective to overcome this hurdle of energy access, GAIL has joined with the other entities like IOCL, who is doing in North Tiruvallur, Bangalore, Nagapattinam pipeline. Then GSPCL is doing Mehsana Bhatinda pipeline, and then HEPL is also putting up Jagad Mangalore pipeline, and GITL, that is GSPL India Transco Limited, is also putting up Mallavaram Bhilwara pipeline of 2000 kilometers, approximately 2000 kilometers. Apart from this, India is also surging ahead with the development of LNG regasification terminal at Dhamra, Jagad, Jafrabad, Karaikal, Chhara, and almost we are expecting that we will be able to increase the LNG liquefaction capacity to somewhere around 61 MMTPA in the days to come. The industrial sector, apart from the giant enterprises, medium and small scale enterprises are also shifting to the natural gas to minimize their environmental and GHG impact. Piped natural gas is made available as an alternative to LPG in many cities across India. As you know, PNG is a safer as compared to LPG, as LPG being heavier settles at the bottom near the floor surface, whereas PNG is lighter than air, so it is vented out from the available space from the top. And moreover, government is also thinking to increase the access of LPG to remote locations where PNG accessibility will be limited. In the next 4 to 5 years, government is aiming to create a gas infrastructure in India by investment of approximately $60 billion, which includes laying of gas pipeline and LNG terminals. India is set to expand its natural gas grid up to around 35,000 kilometers by adding approximately 17,000 kilometers of natural gas pipeline. The regasification, as I told you, is expected to reach up to 61 MMTPA in days to come. The coverage of city gas distribution projects has been expanded, which is including the new 232 new GAs, and this will be covering around 400 districts with the potential of population coverage of around 70% with the 53% of the geographical coverage. Also, to make the availability of energy in India, already government is pushing for CBG also, which will be uh, putting up like the associated entities will be putting up around 5,000 CBG plants in days to come. In the next 2 to 3 years, we are expecting that around 5,000 CBG units will be put up, which will be generating around 15 million metric ton of natural gas. One can witness the huge potential for the existing and upcoming pipeline infrastructure in India to realize this target. Hence, it is imperative for us to attain operative excellence through application of research driven focused solutions, adopting the optimum technology, being resilient in the face of disruption, and having an engaged, empowered workforce. The global pandemic and economic crisis has put an even stronger emphasis on the importance of operational excellence to adapt to the new normal. We need to be open to try new technologies that can fast track the laying of the pipeline in comparison with the traditional open cut methods. There is also a greater motive to analyze and adopt methodologies to develop pipeline infrastructure in densely populated urban areas with minimum inconvenience to the public. With efficient, safe, and agile operation, we must unlock new value fast for zeroing in on the most promising operational innovation opportunities and by leveraging the digital tools at our disposal, all with an aim to unravel the homogeneous gain and can be attained by the achieving the true potential of our gas economy. With this, I assure you that all like as a technocrat, whosoever is will be viewing this summit, they will be realizing that we have a large potential to do in the natural gas business. So best wishes for that. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. We would like to take some questions from the audience. Could you take the seat, please?
Basically, in the next 10 years, if you see, uh, already government of India has committed that we should increase the in natural gas share in the energy mix by 15%. To meet that target of 15%, we need to almost double the length of the pipeline. And moreover, this can be only achievable when we connect all the potential consumption centers with the existing pipelines. So you must be knowing that national gas grid is almost on the verge of completion, and we are expecting that by next 3 to 4 years we will be able to connect that circular ring. If you see, already Hazira to it has been connected up to Dadri, then Bhatinda, and towards western side if we go, it has come to Chittorgarh. Then similarly in the eastern part it has reached up to Bokaro, Dhamra and Durgapur side. Then from downwards it's getting connected to the Srikakulam Angul pipeline, which will be connecting to that, and later on this pipeline will be connected to KKMBPL. So it will be completing that. So if we consider in that respect, so the future of uh, natural gas pipeline is bright in days to come, and it will be a necessity.
Thank you, sir. Sir, what are the major drivers and challenges in the pipeline laying?
Uh, as far as challenges is concerned, the main challenge is the acquisition of the I should say acquisition of the ROU, because people have many apprehensions about that. But I would like to use this forum to clear that ROU ROU we lay the pipeline below around 1.2 meter. The top surface of the pipeline is around 1.2 meter below the ground. So as far as farming is concerned, there is not going to be any impact on that. And moreover, we have seen at many locations these farming lands is flourishing as it was. Only issue is that we have to take care, like when a pipeline is laid, we have to follow certain precautions, like we should not do some drilling or putting some permanent infrastructure over there. And as far as driver is concerned, as I said you, the demand of energy is already, if we compare with the world demand, we are almost one third. So if we see the development and growth of the India, so it will be, we have the scope to triple the consumption. So that will be the main driving force to put up the gas pipeline and meet the energy requirement.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening to all of you, and
Circuit.
welcome to
It is
this underground magnetic summit arranged by Mr. Rajiv. I am finding mostly all the old and new faces with whom I have worked entire in my career of almost 20 to 30 years, 28 to 30 years. And somehow, somewhere, directly or indirectly, all those persons are available, I think, here. So my career, I will just in brief say, I started as a construction spread in charge in VDPL from that Bajhera to Chaisa section, 48-inch VDPL pipeline. Then I worked in DUPL, DPPL. Then I have worked in Dabhol Bangalore pipeline in Maharashtra section. And then I started KKMBPL initial work, which was first spread of the FACT to Kutanud. And from there, I shifted to Mangalore, and then from there up to Kannur, I was looking after the KKMBPL spread. And year 2018, I have been shifted in the entirely new area, which is CGD, City Gas Distribution. The entire experience of the project pipeline execution was at it has come in real use when I started career in CGD. CGD is really altogether a new arena, new game. CGD, where in cross country we lay the pipeline in the field. Here we lay the pipeline in street. So the things are very different. And at CGD, I feel the what subject we are discussing today is of more importance. The utilities. The entire city is embedded with the utilities. And in that utilities, we have to lay our pipeline. So challenge is to be a safe execution of the pipeline. And I hope underground magnetic, which which they recommend, like underground utility identification, that is the, I think, the one safe way to execute the pipeline in the city. City gas pipeline, laying pipeline in the city, mostly now all state governments do not allow you to open cut. They mostly specifically tell that you go for the HDD or the non not in open cut method. So knowing the utility below the surface is a big challenge. And in this forum, what we are here gathered to know about the things, about the underground utilities. So I can thanks Mr. Rajiv to arrange this summit on underground magnetic, which is having mainly function of the knowing the underground utilities, which is very big concern. Working safely and without damaging other utility is a big challenge in the city. And hopefully this equipments which is promoted by underground magnetic is of very useful for the specifically for the cities. Now I will talk about the Gale Gas Bangalore. In Gale Gas Bangalore in 2015, we have deposited 5,200 crore bank guarantee to achieve this GA. And Gale Gas Bangalore is the only entity in the India who has completed the MWP target given by the PNGRB. We have completed inch kilometer dia, as well as we have completed 1,32,000 DPNG connection, which was our target. Well within the time, almost 1 month before. So that is the achievement I can say. Till now, we have spent almost 1,300 crore capex here, and we have laid almost 130 kilometer steel network, 1,500 kilometer MDP network, and almost 40 CNG station in this city. And this year also, we are planning to have almost 250 kilometer of MDP pipeline, almost 50,000 DPNG connections, and almost 50,000 kilometer of the steel pipeline in this city. So scope is like for a city like Bangalore is a very meager, but we cannot start work at the so many places at so many means at the same time, because working in a city you have to work with the limitations of the permissions, limitation of the traffic, limitation of the utilities. So we focus only on some specific areas to connect with the and then work safely there. So I can say you city gas distribution is a big field coming up. Almost our entire Karnataka, where all the GAs have been, all the districts have been awarded as a GA, except 2 or 3. So there is a lot of scope for the steel pipeline laying, MDP pipeline laying, CNG stations work. And like this, it is a big opportunity for all pipeline laying companies, HDD companies. So this, I can say that this volume is very huge. So I don't think nowadays there is a issue of getting the work. Getting the work, I think it is one of the easy thing nowadays, because so many CGDs are going on parallelly. Only issue is that how best people execute it and how fast, how economically, how properly they execute. So we have to, keeping in view that we are working in the city, we have to take care of the all safety, all precautions, all less interruption to other utilities, and do our job. So I just welcome you all, that you might be working in the cross country, and now field has changed. Now CGD will be a big boom, big investment zone. So you people will have to change your little mode and try to come into the CGD, city gas pipeline distribution network, and focus on CGDs. So it is my just advice or request that big companies are also having scope in CGD, those who are working in the cross countries. And thank you very much, Rajiv, uh, giving me this opportunity to speak on this platform. And I hope I have very much clarified about the CGD. Anything else anybody wants, I can reply on those.
Thank you, sir. Sir, please take the seat. We'll have some questions.
बाद में उठा दूँ.
No worries, sir. So, a few questions coming up. What are the plans of expansion with respect to Karnataka? Because you are here in Bangalore. A lot of audience from Bangalore is here. So, it would be useful for them.
Sir, at presently we are laying almost 25 kilometer of steel pipeline and almost 250 kilometer of the MDP pipeline, and 100 CNG station we have planned. This year we have planned almost 50 CNG stations. We have at present running 40 CNG station in this city. So next year again 50 CNG station, almost 250 kilometer of the MDP pipeline, and almost 50 kilometer of the steel pipeline network we are planning. As far as Karnataka entirely, if I can say, means as I know, most of the CGD like AGNP, those who are having big stake in Karnataka, they are also going for the LNG, RLNG plants, and from RLNG plant they will be laying the network for the city gas distribution. So entire, I hope almost 700 kilometers to 1000 kilometer pipeline scope is in Karnataka itself.
That's huge, sir.
Yeah.
So, what are the major driver and challenges you face in a city during the laying of the pipelines in the city conditions?
Driver means you not much motivating. Drivers are here to lay the pipe. Only issue is that if you lay the pipeline safely, and it is having life of like 25 to 30 years. So any mode which can supply the gas cannot be better than pipeline. So once you will have to take the full precaution, take care, see your pipeline is laid safely, properly. So you are free for at least 25 years. And then operation and maintenance of the pipeline, main your focus should be on its patrolling. You should be having proper patrolling and monitoring system to keep it safe from the third party damages. Mostly what I have found, our network, our system is very beautifully designed, very well placed, but only third party intervention or third party means you can say that during their execution it gets damaged, and that is the means very big risk for the networks. So that is the issue. And what you said, drive and challenges, what I say, it is a laying pipeline in a city is you have to face the BWSS, electricity cables, high tension cables. You have to face the water pipeline, you have to face the OFCs. So all these things is a part and parcel of your challenges.
Okay.
And in that challenges, best way is to have a proper communication with them, know the utility well, what is you are going to face. If you know the utility by using the your scanning of the underground utilities, then you can very well safely lay your pipeline.
Sir, I would like to say one thing on this. If your existing pipelines or the upcoming pipelines can be mapped, and that mapping can be shared with the other service providers, then it would be easier for others to identify which route, which pipeline or a sewerage or a, what you say, electric cable or other things are going.
That GIS mapping you are talking
Yeah,
about,
GIS mapping,
GIS
sure.
mapping, we are already working on it, and it is a mandatory in Bangalore city
Mhm.
to have a GIS mapping. And whatever pipeline we have laid, it is mandatory for us to take the permission from BBMP to submit the old your GIS maps
Okay.
wherever you have laid the pipeline. So they have a portal in state government site, and we have to means all pipeline data, GIS data, we have to upload into that system. Then only we get the further extension and
Sure.
further permissions for the laying the pipeline.
Okay. Shri Vivek ji is here. Any questions from Bangalore? He is here, and straight away you can take the questions. Yeah, please. Yes,
Why
yes,
not?
yes, yes. Please take the
Directly.
microphone.
Sir, myself Manohar from Bharat Petroleum.
Boliye.
You asked me, you told us the challenge that you have to face these many hurdles in underground facilities. But did you find any suitable solution, sir?
There is no suitable solution. Only issue is that it is like while laying the pipeline, you have to be very careful about the things. Means first of all, I will say very raw method. When you are doubtful, you are having any doubt that there is some utility which can harm you while doing the work, take a dig verification. Make a dig at the some 100 meter, 50 meter, or 1000 meter, like that. See the frequency, how long it is. Dig verification is the best way to do the thing. Even for the HDD, when we make a shot, we need not to be very and blindly put the machine and do the HDD. We can go for the dig verification and do the shots. So that saves lot of uncertainty, and you can be at least assured that there is nothing very major which can harm life or which can damage any big utility. That is the best way to do that. Certain.
So please, I give the microphone.
Here the main issue is with the updation of the records. Many times it happens that when you are going for laying of the any infrastructure, you just take whether it is pipeline or cable.
Excuse me.
So it happens that the details or that new infrastructure which has come up in that area, that has to be updated fast. Most of the time it happens that okay, most of the time it happens that that updation takes time. So whenever the concern department or concern group who is allowing them to lay that pipeline, they are not aware whether some other new thing has come up or not. So in this area there is a need to work, and already we are having discussion with the Bangalore Municipal Corporation also, and we had implemented such thing at some other places also, like in Surat, there was a methodology that every quarterly or sometime was given that it has to be, they have to give the new infrastructure which they have put up. So those things were getting incorporated in that. So soon I think it's I should say it's at a nascent stage. So very soon this thing will be materialized and it will become more easier. Otherwise, whatever Vivek has said, that we have to go into that crude method itself.
That sir has said rightly. He said like that laying the pipeline, then making it's a drawing, and then submitting, and then as built and everything, means laying is done very fast. But all other means all other activity means like formalizing the drawing and then uploading into the system, and then it is again uploading into the means BBMP portal or other thing. It is like some lagging is there always. So it is, as sir has said very rightly, as early as possible. If you means put your network in the system, so anybody can check it whenever he is going into that route doing some work. He must be knowing that your this network is there, this pipeline is there. And ultimately, like हम लोगों का तो natural gas में तो we are inevitably every 50 meter we have to put the marker, we have to put the steel marker, concrete markers, and that things is there already. So that is means that is for the others to take precaution. Like any other utility who wants to work with our pipeline, they must know that this is a gas pipeline here. So a lot of awareness has come up into this city, Bangalore. When I joined in 2018, almost 25 to 30 gas leakages I used to face. But it is almost now 4, 5, 6. It is has been lot of improvement in this city. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Yeah, please. Please give the mic.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
My name is Partha Sathide. I'm from Calcutta. So, first of all, congratulations on your achievements so far on completing the targets ahead of time. I know, as a matter of fact, that not many states have been able to do that previously. Now, since you have been, completing your projects ahead of time, it is safe to say that the market is already saturated. However, you are asking other companies to, come into this sector again. So I just want a view on that.
There is no question of saturation, as rightly said, sir said that we are at present 6% of the energy basket, means natural gas, and our target is a 15%, and global average is a 24%. So from 6 to 7 also we have not reached so far, even after the so many government facilities push and other things. So almost double the scope is already there. There is no chance that you are saying that there is a saturation. Saturation is not there at all. There's a lot of work, lot of scope, lot of things can be done simultaneously.
Yes, sir. Please give the mic.
As you know, I have just spoken on that dais itself that around 53% of the geographical area is expected to be covered if all the GAs, which are, I think 10th round is under progress. So if those are allocated, then only 53% of the geographical area will be covered. That will be covering the 70% of the population, city population, I should say. So if we think in that way, then we still have almost double the scope, and moreover, if we see the consumption part, so still in Bangalore itself, or rather if I compare with the Delhi itself, which is almost a decade, more than a decade long city gas distribution history, they have not also reached up to around, I think, 30% or so. So we have a lot of scope in this, and the saturation, I don't think in the coming 20 years the saturation will come.
Rightly said, sir.
Yeah, because we are from
Yeah.
Delhi, we see
Yeah.
everyday basis IGL laying the pipelines.
Yes.
Any other questions? Mahavir ji, any questions? Lalit ji, please. And yeah, please give the mic, somebody there.
Good evening, sir. This is Sai Shivakumar from Rancom. We are primarily into doing HDD for telecom operators. Good to know that GAIL has a lot of requirement coming up in the years ahead. What are some of the approaches that GAIL is going to take to attract good partners to come on board? So you have work. How do we go about it? Should we approach GAIL or should we approach your empaneled partners? We do 250 kilometers to 300 kilometers a year ourselves every year for telcos. So how are you going to attract people like us?
Actually, means for the CGD, we are having impaneled contractors, but what I just want to communicate you, our BEC is very open and very liberal as far as MDP pipeline is laying is concerned. So as you said that you are laying already OFC cable and other things. So if you have a that means performance track record or your experience track record, you can directly approach to Gale Gas portal, and there is a vendor registration forms, or you can say there is a vendor registration process. You can go through that and you can apply into it. For laying MDP through by the HDD method, do not require very specifically any other specification. So we are even allowing cable laying entities, OFC laying entities, and we have qualified, and so many this type of vendors have come up, and they have now started laying MDP pipeline in Gale Gas and in other GS, in even in Bangalore also. So there is a no restriction from our side to means associated with the new vendors or new our you can say like new entities.
Any other questions? You have an opportunity, a very big opportunity to talk directly to the gas authority people. Nobody? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Give him a big round of applause. MJ Ravi ji.
Good evening to all the participants, esteemed guests, speakers. It's really a wonderful opportunity, actually. Actually, as Tripathi sir has said, after post-COVID, good to see people, back to see industry working and people in business. That's so nice. I'll be speaking about oil pipelines and its future. That's the topic which was given to me. See, as we all know, logistic is a very critical part of any supply chain. And supply chain is again a very, very integral component of any economy across the world. So pipelines is one such integral part. Today, without pipelines, I don't think so how we can send so much of fuel across the country, such a vast country we have. And as we all know, today, pipeline is one of the most safest, efficient, and cheapest, I say, the low cost mode of transportation that exists today compared to other modes, railways and road, etc. Indian scenario, pipelines, yes, we are not up there still. The kind of geography we have, such a large country, we are still way less than the infrastructure of pipelines which we should have compared to developed economies. We are not still there. I think from Gale, we got those numbers, very encouraging numbers. I think for the, all the service providers, it's a good sign. So pipeline is going to be here. I think small on a lighter note, I just wanted to say, so nowadays, I think probably oil and gas has come to a back burner. Everybody is talking about EV and charging. So suddenly everybody is learning what's going to happen to oil and gas. Is it going to just boom, go off the market, or it's going to evaporate? I don't think so. Oil has got a future still. Still few decades, and oil is going to be there. Yes, there is a lot of other parameters which are driving cleaner energy because of climate change and things around us. That's a good thing, but oil economy will continue parallelly. Pipeline infra with, I'll just talk about HPCL, the organization I work with. Like we are having a POL pipeline length of around 3,250 kilometers. We have around 1,000 odd gas LPG pipeline, and there is around 1,500 kilometers of project is under construction. So pipeline is a big vertical for us because we need to move our product from various demand zones from our refineries. So pipeline is an integral part. So every OMC's pipeline is a bread and butter. They need to have pipelines. I'll just run through you know, industry statistics. Probably these all data are all available in the market, so everybody knows. Like when it comes to IOC, is a bigger brother. They have around 7,000 plus kilometers of POL line. HPCL and our other companies, we have around 3,000 plus kilometers of pipeline. BPCL another 2,200 plus. Oil is some kilometers of pipeline. So market share, if you say POL pipeline, I'm not very sure about the gas utility statistics with me. So gas utility, IOC has, a capacity of almost, 44 million metric tons, almost 50% capacity is utilized for them. HPCL, we are having around 25%, BPCL around 15-16%. So pipelines, primarily pipelines are divided, driven by 2-3 parameters for POL is concerned. Mostly based on our refining, where the pipeline, where the product gets refined to the demand centers. That's how pipeline. That's how the cross-country POL, pipelines are moving. Like typically refining capacities, if you see BPCL, the data 1920 around 40 million metric tons. So refining capacity of BPCL is also going by 29-30. It's going to become 53 million metric tons. IOCL, they are increasing their refining capacities, from present 80 to they would be reaching 120. So the refining capacities are going up, and with Reliance, with their SEL, they're almost adding to almost 80 plus million metric tons. Typically, pipeline also, as we know, is a very difficult thing to do. I think today a lot of questions were asked. Like it has got a very intricate job. City gas pipeline, it's not easy to construct. It has immense challenges. Even cross-country pipeline, not easy to construct. It has got its own challenges. ROU, it's a big nightmare. Land acquisition, it's a hell. There are governments which just, they'll throw you out. Don't come to our state. So we need pipelines, but then things are, ROU becomes a big hindrance. Approvals, it's going to be sometimes really, pushing you backwards. And of course, it is very capital intensive, a lot of cost driven for constructing these kind of utilities. However, I think government is going forward to encourage and have this infrastructure in place with various means, vehicles. Like there are a lot of joint venture investment pipelines are coming up. There are a lot of industrial pipelines are coming up. Pipelines are mostly based on product exchanges are coming up. BPC says, I need product here. HPCL says, okay, I'm going to give you here. So on those bases, there are pipelines which are purely coming on standalone basis. Company says, look, I have refinery here. I need to move my product, whether you join or not. So they are going to come up with some, lines like that. So pipelines are coming in a good way. I'll just run through some stats for the group. IOC, for example, if you see, their existing is around 7,200 kilometers of pipeline they have. Roughly around 3,500 is probably their ongoing projects. Another, by 29-30, they're going to add another 6,500 kilometers of pipeline. All put together, 17,000 kilometers of pipeline of what IOC is going to come up. HPC, we have around 3,000 plus pipeline. Our current, ongoing projects around 200, 300. We are going to add another 4,000 plus kilometers of pipeline. That is around 8,000 for us. So industry, if you see, we're going to have another 16,000 kilometers plus 4,000, around 20,000 kilometers of pipeline in the kitty. So there's a lot of work as long as POL lines are concerned, cross-country pipelines. Cross-country has its own challenges, but vendors feel a little easy compared to maybe these city gas grids, which are more constrained. There's no leg room to work. So it's an excellent summit. I think thanks, gratitude to Mr. Raju to give me give me this opportunity to share this view to the August audience. Uh, Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Respect to HPCL, you already explained that. Can you explain some more about the expansion plans HPCL is taking up?
HPCL, we are having few projects under construction. We are laying an LPG line from Hassan to Hyderabad, 600 plus kilometers of LPG gas pipeline right now under construction. One pipeline we are doing from our Vijayawada to Dharampuri. And that is a line we are extending. It's a pipeline which you have from Vizag to Secunderabad. So because HPCL refinery is under expansion, so that's in basically evacuating that product and reaching our southern market. That is one pipeline underway. So as I said, there's a lot of industry pipelines are being in the pipeline. There is HPCL is also participating in that like KGPL. It's a gas pipeline from almost west to east. It's a huge pipeline which is under construction. So these are the two pipelines which are currently for HPCL we are working out.
Okay. So do you face challenges in laying the pipelines? Means
Ah,
that's a
I
common
said,
thing?
I said pipeline is not easy.
Yeah.
There's a huge challenges, but HPCL, I don't know, across industry, probably BPCL, IOCL should comment, I should not. So I am in pipeline since few decades. So it always, we have ensured that pipeline we have completed within time. Like we did Bangalore LPG pipeline.
That's great. That's
So industry said HPCL fellows will not do this line. I don't know. But we did this line crossing that entire Western Ghat. It was not easy
great. Yes.
against that terrain, but we completed within time and within timelines.
That's great achievement, sir.
So pipeline, I think all pipeliners have this spirit. I think be it GAIL, BPCL, IOCL, it's hard work.
That's great.
And then it's not only HPCL. I think all the associated vendors, they also do play a part. Be it HDD. Today, I think HDD, a lot of HDD I see here. They also support us in a big way. Today, HDD, without HDD, we can't move. There's earlier, there was a time we used to do open cut,
Yeah.
come what may. Now HDD, thanks to HDD, our life is little simpler. So you tell, Arey, HDD kar do. It goes easy that way.
So thank you. We are here because of HDD as well. Any questions from the audience? Oil pipelines, any questions? रवि साहब हैं बहुत experienced है pipelines में. कोई सवाल? No questions.
Yeah, I think they heard a lot of pipelines, so probably most of the questions are answered. I think I take it that way.
No, they do in and out all the pipelines every day.
Thank you so
Vishalji,
much.
any questions? Okay.
Yeah, Vishalji is an expert in HDD.
Uh,
That's what I hear.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Now I would like to invite Vishal Unmaji on the stage. Vishal Unmaji is from Bluegrass Industries. So he would be taking questions on bottlenecks in rock drilling. So sir, I would like to ask you, what are the bottlenecks in the rock drilling in HDD?
Rock drilling basically, like if one has to do, like it has to be properly planned,
Mhm.
proper selection of equipment, selection of proper tooling. Equipment, I mean to say, like you need to plan a proper rig which has proper torque, because rock is hard to ream. So you need to have a good rig with good torque. The most important thing which most of the people miss is, like in India, we always analyze the rig with the capacity of the pull. But the most important part is the torque what is required to ream the rock. Like if you can ream a hole properly, like then you can pull a pipe also. And the second part is, like everybody emphasizes on the capacity and a tonnage of the rig when they buy. Nobody emphasizes on a good mud pump. Because right now, like as HPCL, VDPL and HCPL, Harsan Chirapalli, wherever we are working and everybody else is working, most of the crossings what we are executing are in rock only. And the problems where everybody is facing is like it's the availability of good mud pumps because you need a good mud pump to run a good mud motor. So it's all lined up, like you need to have a proper rig with good torque, a good mud pump which can run a mud motor and drill a good pilot hole. And if you have a good mud pump, like then you can clean a proper hole also. And then you need a lesser capacity rig to pull a pipe.
That's great. Any questions? Rock drilling में बहुत सारे questions होने चाहिए थे. Any questions from the audience on the rock drilling? Sir. Vishal ji? Any questions? Sir, मैंने तो पूछ लिया. सर का question है. Please give the mic.
कि लाइक ये कंक्रीट ड्रेन्स आजकल काफी बन जाते हैं, बड़े बड़े कंक्रीट ड्रेन्स, और वो एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है ना क्रॉसिंग के लिए एचडीडी से. दोनों साइड में स्पेस भी बहुत लिमिटेड होता है. सो मीन्स ऐसे टाइप की मशीन्स रिक्वायर है जहाँ पे कि आपको बहुत ही कम स्मॉलर स्पेस में उसको एडजस्ट किया जा सके, और बाई pushing some sort of casings and other thing, and then we can cross the concrete drains. One thing. Then second thing is like crossing of the roads, like major all roads are concreted, and there also that same thing means you don't have any space both the sides where you can put your machine and do the proper HDD. So is there any innovative machines or any innovations are going on in this field?
Sir, if you have to cross a highway, like you mean to say both the sides you have, like the corridor available is of the national highway, like which is 10 to 15 meters only.
No, not in highway. I am talking about city actually.
Yeah, city also, like in the road.
There is some residential. Then other side is also residential. Only road and footpath is there.
Yeah.
So that type of things, when we have to cross, it is a very big challenge to us.
So the only thing, like if you're talking about small roads in the cities, like what we have to do is like we have to dig a pit deep, place the machine at a bit lower level when you cross, like because you get very lesser distance to get to the high road, like to get the cover where whatever is required minimum to cross that road also. So you have to dig a bit deeper, because anyway on the sides, like you have to dig it up to find out the utilities what they are. You can't place the machine on the top and start drilling again. So the utilities have to be identified. Then you place the machine at a bit lower level or increase the angle so that you are away from the utilities. Then you have to go a bit deeper. The only thing is, if you have to go deeper, then the length increases. If you have a restriction of the length, then the only thing is you have to dig a bit, go deeper with placement of the rig, lesser angle, and then you cross it. Both sides you have to dig a pit. Without that, like it's not possible. We can't come up on the ground, like if the distance is too short.
Is there any means machines like where this pushing up the casing and then this type of any new?
So HDD machines can be placed as horizontal also, like where they go straight and pull the pipe.
Okay.
Like if you are talking about smaller diameter city gas pipelines, which are 8 inches
8
or
inch, 10 inch.
8 inch and all, like, and the crossings are short, it all depends upon the ground conditions. Like if it's rock, then you need a bigger machine to drill a pilot hole and ream. And if the ground conditions are soft, then you can very well place a 10, 15 or 18 ton machine and do that. Like if it's rock, then definitely you need the 40, 45 ton machine, like to ream it for the rock section.
Any other questions? Please give the microphone. So थोड़ा closer रखिए.
SDD is a very important component as it is emerging for laying the infrastructure.
Honestly.
Laying the infrastructure in the city gas environment, in the city environment. Now, as you have told that one of the component is the right selection of the SDD machine, mud pump, mud motor, and all those things, because as we are experiencing in Bangalore, it is also having some rocky terrain, and the city is full of lakes and nalas, okay, because of its topology at a height and all. So, and the operating space is very constrained, limited. All those issues are there. Now the SDD machine is one selection. It has to be backed by the tracking for which we are here, right? So one of the challenges we are facing, that although the pilot is passing, but the signals are lost. With the SDD operators over here, we are finding that, and they are quite a big players operating over here, that the pilot has gone, but after some time, due to some interferences like there are a lot of cable ends, so this. So how do we cope up this situation?
Sir,
And PNG RB is very strict on the norms of laying this pipeline. Means you cannot lay above ground, you have to have a cover and all. So how to overcome such a challenge?
Sir,
Because the roads are getting concreted, then we are told that we are not getting the signal because it's a concrete road.
So
but the
selection
pipeline-
of proper transmitters also like plays a big role. Like there are different range of transmitters available with underground
Yeah.
technologies. I would ask like Mr. Rajiv Gupta to
What
enlighten
my
more.
question was that who comes into the play, whether the SDD
No,
machine
sir, it's the
player
tracking
or the
system.
tracker?
It's the
Because
tracking system.
these are two components.
It's the tracking system basically. Like if you have a transmitter and if you're not getting the signals, then it has to do with the tracking system. It's not with anything wrong with the operator. The operator is okay, like he has a machine he's operating. It's only the tracking system what he's using. Like he needs to like put the tracking system, the transmitter at a proper, there are various frequencies at what it can be used. I would ask Mr. Rajiv, like he
yes,
can
sir, I would
enlighten more up to
explain
you.
that. Sir, our equipment has got different transmitters of varied depths. Our one transmitter I can show you. Can you bring that bigger transmitter? We can go up to 110 meters deep. That's such big is a transmitter. But then this can be used only with the bigger machines. This is a 24 inches long transmitter. It can give you the depth range of up to 110 meters under powerful mode. It has got 12 frequencies. The lower frequency is used to take up the signals through the RCC, but RCC can be a limited. It cannot be total steel. If there is a total steel, these electromagnetic signals cannot pass through the steel. So we have a lower frequency, but once there is a lower frequency, we have one challenge with Mr. Rudra Gas who are doing the drilling in Lucknow airport, 1.2 kilometer job. They have done up to 980 meters. Now the challenge is this transmitter is being used. If I use the lower frequency, then the communication systems used over the airport and the jammers, they block that signals very fast. So we are not able to get those signals on the top. They got a window of from night 11:30 to morning 4 o'clock. And sometimes those signal jammers and other stuff are switched off. Then we still try to get those signals. So the challenges are, this is all the frequencies in India are governed by the Defense Ministry of Defense, and it all comes under National Frequency Allocation Plan. So we cannot have high power frequency transmitters which will disturb with the communication systems of be airport or the defense systems. So we can work in a particular limited band and we cannot give them more power out of that. So there is a challenge with us also. We have that wireline system also, but then again the wireline is a challenge. Probably if they use a wireline, the range is limited. They will get the roll and pitch behind on the machine, but they will not get the direction then because it is blocked by the heavy RCC. That runway is having a lot of RCC over there, the runway and the taxi track. But we're still able to manage that. What is the depth, Mr. Vishal? 13.4 meters. So we are having, and we are improvising about, we are adding the more frequencies. We are going to launch a transmitter which will be smaller in length. Can you show that small Eco 50? And that in that we are going to add sub K frequencies. 5 frequencies would be added in this. This will help in getting the signals from the RCC. It still has got 4 kilohertz, 4 kilohertz, 7 kilohertz, 10 kilohertz, 12, then 16, then 20 kilohertz, 28 kilohertz, 22 kilohertz, up to 46 kilohertz. Higher we go, the higher frequencies will not be able to pierce the RCC. The lower frequencies are able to pierce the RCC. But the lower frequencies are prone to more active interference which is available. the power lines, radio signals, these are all active interferences which act on this. So this is giving the signals, the other frequencies are coming and they are jamming it.
My question is that what the direct approach for us for laying the pipeline is the SDD company.
Yes.
And how do the SDD companies predetermine whether they'll be success? Because trial and error is not a scientific method of doing
No, sir.
things, right?
Yes.
So it has to be predetermined. Okay, we will be able to do this by this method.
Correct.
This tracker has to be used. This
Yes.
machine has to be used.
Max it's.
We are looking for that cohesion,
Mhm.
So what
which
he
is
has
very
to-
much required in the city
So
gas environment.
what the contractor has to do is like first when he reaches site,
On color.
like he has to put in a transmitter on the ground and at various frequencies he has to do a dummy run on
Yes.
the route so that he knows like at what frequency he'll get the signal. That's the basic like what he
Totally.
has to perform first thing when he reaches that site.
Sir, I'll show you something.
So in that case,
Yeah.
the SDD companies are to be told by the
They need
means,
to be
the
trained.
Trained. They need to be
tracking
trained.
people that this is how you should go about before
Yeah.
commencing a work,
Yes.
which we find that is not happening. That
Sir, that-
integration is not there.
Yes.
They are working as two different entities, whereas it is very much required for both of them to work as a because
Team.
it's a time loss, money loss, all
So
those things.
whichever shot we need to plan, like it's very simple. Like we just go in with the transmitter and the system, we put it on the ground, we make a Reiki, and we will come to know beforehand, like before we put that thing in the ground, like whether we'll get the signals or not, and what frequency we'll get the signals.
Sir, I'll show you something. This is a feature in this locator. No else locator has it in the world. Just click this button. This starts scanning from 4 kilohertz to 46 kilohertz. What are the active interferences available on the ground in the city conditions? The person has to just take this locator and it will tell you what is the maximum depth available and the minimum depth available on a particular frequency. This is based on active, not passive. RCC is a passive interference. He knows there is a passive interference, so he can choose that 4 kilohertz, what depth I am going to achieve. You have given him a predetermined depth of probably 5 meters. He can see whether I will be able to achieve the 5 meters here or not. The minimum scale is available here, and he can just do a dry run before going to drill. This feature is available in this locator.
Because going underground without getting signals is too dangerous
Yeah.
in the city with having all the utilities.
And you need to scan it with a particular transmitter. This transmitter says I can go up to this much depth. Okay, this transmitter is not working, bring a bigger transmitter. You pair it, do the calibration again, do the scanning. You will find more range.
So what I was looking for that before means it should not be a trial and error,
No.
method.
No.
This is not a
Because
trial and
trial
error.
and
It
error
has
is
to
very
be a
dangerous.
scientific approach
Yes.
Yeah.
for the SDD companies for laying the pipelines, because most of the pipelines, our pipelines are laid by SDD. And as sir was telling, see the current means as we have developed the things, whatever utilities are being laid, including this gas pipelines or whatever is being mapped.
Yeah.
Authorities are getting
Yes.
it mapped. But what about the things which has already been done? This is a very old city or old cities where 20 years already nothing was mapped. There are no records available. It's a guesswork and all those things. Then how, while doing that, while doing the SDD in the city conditions, is there any methodology to, with some maybe 75-80% accuracy, we are able to map the
Existing ones.
Yeah, existing
So there
utilities.
is a cable
It
locator.
could be in the form of cable. It could be in the form of
Yes.
sewerage pipe, which may be a ductile iron, RCC, or whatever. There are so many
Yes.
types of material used for construction of these utilities.
There is a cable locator. It detects the metal inside the ground. There are two methods to do that. You pass a current with its existing one. Put a pin on that, pass the current, and take the cable locator, and it will tell you the entire length where it is going and what depth it is there. The cable locators are available in the market.
So normally the pipelines, like all the utilities along the road or along the highway, are at a maximum depth of around 3 meters. Like that is where all the cables, OFC or electrical cables are. So when we decide to do a HDD, like we make 1 or 2 entry pits, we locate all those cables and then find a favorable area from where we can place the machine, because machine also, whenever we place on a center line, needs to be anchored because it has to pull that pipe. So we anchor, and if we find a proper location where the machine can be placed, and accordingly, like we have a open corridor, open pit of 3 meters in the front, and then we enter at the bottom. Like when we enter with the motor or the drill bit, whatever it is, 2.5, 3 meters, we enter into the ground. And same way, when we have to receive it on the receiving side, when the pilot hole gets over, like the pit has to be dug, and like it will come out here only. So we don't come up to the ground in the city or along the highway wherever we are drilling. We try to come up in a pit which is already dug, which is away from the utilities. Like that's a safer way to do it.
Sir, other aspect I would like to bring to your notice that we need to have more and more technically trained manpower on the site, which is very less. We, as an underground magnetics, we have trained 150 ITI students, raw students. We take them to our office, they take an internship of 15 days. It's free of cost, and then we place them to a different companies. Yes, they are raw, but they know how to operate this. They know what is the basics of HDD. They know to make the bore path plan and everything. They need at least 2 months on the site to understand fully how the operation goes on. And then most of them are working with Vishalji and probably Rudra Gas, and many people have taken them. So this way, over the period of 2 years, we have given 150 trackers to the market, and we are in the process of doing that some more.
We also, sir, when we hire our own people, like we send our people to them for training, like for 15 days at their facility in Faridabad. So it's always better to have trained people. And for us, like whenever we have any problem, like we take guidance from them. We don't do a hit and trial at site. We just call them and they're always there to help.
So manpower is one such pain point. I fully understand with that. They need to be thorough with the equipment when they're using on the field, be it any equipment.
The technology is available. It's all out. It's all about like how we apply and what knowledge we have to put it to application. Like, that's the only thing.
Any
Yeah.
further questions? Anybody? Yeah, please.
Yeah, Vishal, this is for you. In HDD, we have typical situation. I just one is when you do a long HDD, say 800, 900 plus HDD. Typically, we have bore hole data, and we have fair idea of what is there. But typically, what happens is the strata varies. So you encounter good rock, then suddenly there will be boulder kind of a situation. So we are having a challenge where your bit gets stuck and it's a nightmare. So is there any way out for those kind of challenges? Means multiple strata, like
So
from solid
wherever-
rod to this, that is one.
Wherever we are aware, like on the soil investigation report, like we feel like the ground is not consistent. The only best way to drill is to go deeper. People avoid going deeper, saying that like, okay, if we go deeper, the rock is harder. But it always better to drill into a consistent hard rock than trying to cut corners and drill into a softer ground with boulders and then getting entangled with the boulders and then losing time and losing bit and sometimes drifting also.
So these boulders is a challenge still. So is
Boulders
there
is
any
still-
solution is available?
There's no solution for a boulder. So boulders have always been a challenge.
So it is
Because when the boulders are there, like boulders are not, like we are not able to cut the boulders. Boulders, like whenever the bit comes, they get dispersed in the
Okay.
ground. Like and also what happens is like when you have boulders, like boulders are like with the cohesive sand or silt, like the boulders are there. Like when you pump fluid, what happens is like all the soft material gets washed away and all the boulders they accumulate and there's nothing in between with the ground. Like then it's only, you can say, pebbles and rock lying in the ground in that hole where you are drilling through. And what happens is like everything is lying on your drill pipe and you are having high torque and then you start having issues.
okay. So one is distance. This challenge here is more depth is more length, so more cost.
Sir,
So that-
you talked about 700-800 meter
No, no,
crossing. So in
no, no,
700-800 meter
No, I'm
crossing,
just
there's
trying
no
to
issue
say
with the
because
length.
we also try to optimize cost. So I was just putting that question. Second is when you
Sir, I'll put it in a very different way. Like these days, in a SOR item, like we have major HDDs and we have shallow HDDs. Like shallow HDDs people quote a lesser rate, but shallow HDDs are more challengeable like to execute, because when you start, like if you see the ground conditions, like you get a firm ground at a depth of around 5-6 meters or below. And whenever the roads and highway crossings we execute, it's all the built up material what has been filled. It's the filled material what we have to drill through in shallow HDD, because they say shallow HDD, smaller crossing, it's okay, you can lay it at 3-4 meters and it can be done. So I would say shallow HDDs are more of a challenge than main HDDs.
So probably you have to change the nomenclature.
You have to change the nomenclature.
My second question was, in HDD, what is the biggest length that we can achieve? And because
Sir,
why I asked this
trench-
question is, I think
trenchless-
I think you came to our site. I think
Yeah.
I'm VDPL I'm referring.
Yeah.
So we had challenges around 2.2 kilometers. So what is the biggest HDD which can achieve without any problem?
Sir, trenchless just executed 3.2 kilometers for Mahanadi, 12-inch plus 6-inch bundle. Just been executed, I think, a month and a half back.
No,
In Odisha.
it's a midway there is a failure, then we have challenge of,
Sir, in like they did a intersect. 3.2 kilometer is what has been successfully pulled.
okay, with an
And-
intersect.
Yeah, with an intersect, and there's an existing crossing which they are executing, which is for 3.7 kilometers Brahmaputra in Orissa, which is ongoing. NR Patel also executed a crossing which was around 2800 meter plus.
So
That
longer
was in rock.
so longer length is possible only with intersection. So
Longer
what is
length
what is the highest intersection that we can consider?
So intersection mostly happens after 2 kilometers. Like after 2 kilometers, intersection is required, because what happens is, like when you go in with a rig which is pushing a drill pipe, like there's a length of 2 kilometers of drill pipe, like 2 kilometer of drill pipe when you're rotating, the machine also has to put in a sufficient amount of torque to rotate that steel which is there in the ground. And the intersect is normally executed because, like when you are at a deeper depth and you have to come up, when you have to, like on a longer crossing, we take an example of around 2700 meters. 2700 meter crossing, like what will happen is, if it's a 20-inch pipe also, you will have a large tangent to achieve to come up, which should be around 300 to 400 meters. So you can drill 2100 meters to a straight section, not an issue with one rig, no issues at all. But when you have to build up that depth of 10-15 meters to come to that ground, it needs a proper push, dead push. So that dead push is not available from the rig with so much of friction in the ground when the length increases. Then the drill pipe starts buckling. You need to put in 200 meters or 250 meter of casing in the front so that buckling of pipe doesn't happen. But with so much of friction in the ground with the length, it is very difficult to come up. That's the only reason we go for intersect, because we can put another rig on the other side. We drill a hole to meet to that hole which is already existing. Once the hole is there, then it's very easy for that pipe to just rotate and come out on the other side. That's the reason the intersect happens. It's only because one single rig can't push it to the ground. Like there are so many losses when you're pushing with so much of steel in the ground. So that's the reason intersect happens.
Thank you. And my last one, do we have any particular brand or a particular type of rig for the job in the market which is there today? What happens is we find vendors with various rigs, fitted rigs, OEM rigs, Chinese rigs, I don't know. So it becomes extremely difficult when the rig comes on that site and start performing, it starts breaking, and it's nightmare.
Sir, all rigs are good till they are maintained properly. That's what I would say. We also own a Chinese rig, but I would say, like being a HDD contractor, and like when we have a vision to drill longer and with more number of crossings and all, like we invested into German rigs. Like what we have is like 2 rigs, what we have bigger rigs are all German rigs. So like it's the only issue is, like with Chinese rigs, the safety controls are not there. Like if you compare the operations on a Chinese rig and a German rig, like there's a very big difference on the controls. Like when you are reaming on a Chinese rig, like you have to put it on a lever, like you have to adjust it on the lever, the kind of pull what you want to put in. Or you can just go to the screen on the software and decide like how much pull you have to do. On a German rig, you have pot meters, you have all the presets, like you just preset the whole thing and you put the lever back. It automatically like won't go beyond that pull or beyond that torque. So it's all about the safety features which are available to do longer crossings. Shorter crossings are not an issue. People started with optical fiber where there was no concern about torque or a pull because the ducts were supposed to be pulled. Now with city gas and all, smaller diameter pipes are also okay, but when you get to a bigger leak, then definitely you need better rigs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Though Vishal said the right thing for the boulders, but yes, if it is not boulders and if you have mixed data like clay or rock or sand is coming, then definitely we'll be covering in our next session on the mud. But yes, there are solutions and polymers and additives available which can quickly modify your bentonite properties and mud properties to adapt to the changing ground conditions in the single hole. We have assisted contractors not only in India but globally, wherein there was a crossing of around 2,300 meters we did in Thailand and somewhere. So there were three parts where they had rock, clay, and sand, all the three. So all the three things need a different kind of composition. So yes, it can be managed with help of polymers and additives, but again, the lack of knowledge and awareness is there in the contractors, and plus there is reservation of cost probably sometimes, and they have for bigger contractors like Vishal sir, Ritesh sir, they have mud engineers on ground, but other people do not have mud engineers who can do that, combination and calculation for the mud. So yes, that can also be a way out by controlling the mud. You can do the crossings in the same length, and it will solve your purpose and the contractor's purpose as well. Thank you. Again, if you talk about the additives and polymers, it's a biodegradable. What we manufacture specifically are biodegradable and environment friendly because we also use these polymers in the metros. So what you see, whatever is going around, like in Bangalore Metro, we are having customers here who are doing the pilings, and also those some of the polymers are even used for the digging of that pile foundations. So all these things have been taken care while the manufacturing, and we have the documentary backup because we do it globally. So again, India also has challenges, but overseas it's a major concern about what additives, polymers, chemicals you'll be putting in the ground, and specifically for the disposal again. So they have a big length of SOP and chapters of SOP, how you have to dispose the mud. So we have to take care of everything. It has been taken care of
So
definitely.
overseas, they have confined like dumping yards for bentonite, and there's a proper procedure like all the disposal. What you have to do is you have to mix it with sawdust and then put it there. Like it's not like you keep on dumping there. No, you have to mix an additive to it. Like then only you can dump. Like otherwise you are not allowed to. And these are designated areas being allocated by the local administration there, and those are the only places where the dumpers they go and they dump it. Like you can't dump it anywhere else.
Thank you, sir.
Any further questions? Any questions from the audience? Intersection drilling, rock drilling? No one.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Now I would like to invite Mr. Ujjwal. So please come on the stage and tell us something about the rock tools. Hello. Sir, we have some questions. First of all, I would like you to explain about the company, Synerg and Sai Deepa, who are engaged in
Hello.
rock tooling.
Well, Synerg is good evening. First of all, it's been a pleasure to be here again. About 8 months ago, we're in Ahmedabad. Mr. Gupta has been doing this program extremely successfully, and that we can see from the audience, which is all ears for, and it's a wonderful, absorbing evening with a lot of good information and something which I've never heard before, and I never could imagine the kind of activities that are going on, which is on a scale in which it is. So it's always been it's a learning thing for us to come and attend these sessions and try understand what's going on in the country. And well, we are here from a company called Synerg Global Tools, which is based in Hyderabad, and we have been manufacturing products for the mining industry, primarily rotary drill bits. and that's been only been supplying to countries outside India. About 28 countries now we have been exporting to, including Australia, Germany, Russia, and America, and everywhere, Chile, Peru. And as a natural offshoot of that product which you make, and that came along this opportunity in India is HDD drilling, the hole openers and the rotary bits which goes with that, and the reamers and so on. And we thought this is a good opportunity for us to diversify into a new revenue stream for the country, and a big opportunity for us to look at possibilities like replacing mainly the Chinese manufacturing companies which have been dominating the country. And our products have been doing extremely well. In fact, we have been competing with the best in the world, including from America, from the best companies from Sweden, from America, from Russia, from China. And our products are today, you probably will be surprised to hear that this is one of the best performing product in the whole world. In fact, I just came back from an exhibition in America this week in Las Vegas, which is the biggest mining show in the world. And there, our stall, we had to put up a big stall there, this company, and our stall was one of the best stalls in the entire exhibition. And the participants and the people who came from all over the world, mainly from South America, Europe, and North America, and they had found our product to be so impressive. So we found that this is a product which can do very well in this country, and really we don't see much of local manufacturing in India. So there's a good opportunity for us to do, and it's about a year and a half now, about 2 years, we have started supplying into in India market. Vishal has been one of our, in fact, he's the one who put us onto the map, so to speak. And on the back of that, we have been now supplying to quite a few companies in India now, including guys in Madras and in Andhra Pradesh. So this is why we thought it's an opportunity for us to expose ourselves. We just put up a stall, little bit of a show there, right in the parking area. We have put up our products which are on display. Maybe on your way back, just go and have a look, for a couple of minutes. And we're here to serve. And in fact, this is something which you get. We're trying to improve our logistics in terms of manufacturing, and trying to keep stocks for a shorter lead time delivery. And this is something which you don't have to look into countries like China and all that, and wait for them to deliver whenever they do. And the quality is as good and better than whatever you get. So this is a good opportunity for us and good opportunity for you to look at somebody across the road in your own country to buy from. So it's a good opportunity for us, and we thought this is a good platform for us to showcase what we have and tell you that this is available, and come and have a look. And something which we're also planning to hold similar conference like this or a summit in Hyderabad sometime in November.
Yeah.
And probably we'll try to invite as many people as we can. And please come and see us. And that's something which you would have seen on screen. It's a wonderful facility. And India, like many Indian companies, they may not be on the face of it. India may not have the kind of the reputation as a manufacturing hub like China has today. But there are some fantastic companies in this country which are as good as maybe better than the best in the world. So we believe that we are among those companies with the manufacturing capabilities and the design capabilities are as good as anywhere in the world. So when you look at somebody like Synergy, you're looking at the best, perhaps. And to add to that, the best part of it all is that it's definitely it works out with cheaper, because you're buying in the Indian context. Obviously, the costs are cheaper than what you otherwise bought. So all in all, this is a good opportunity for all of you. And you guys have been in this game for a long time, and it seems like that the opportunities are enormous. The kind of activities are going on for next few years. So we are ready for you to have a look at. Yeah, so that's from my side, Mr. Gupta.
Sir, selection of the rock tooling. Could you elaborate something on the selection of the rock tooling?
Selection of rock tooling, ideally, it's all something which is, likes of Vishal, and they know exactly what they want, and they tell us.
What variety you have to offer to the market?
We have the entire range what you have. Right from we got the whole the hole openers we are now making up to 26 inches now. We can go even further up. So the whole program is available as long as HDD is concerned.
they have a display on in the garden area. You can have a look of housings, and somehow the housings are here.
Yeah.
And they have a big hole opener parked there in the garden area. So when you go downstairs, please have a look onto that.
Yeah, just have a look. You can see for yourself. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Any questions on the rock tooling? Yeah, please. Please give the microphone.
I am from Jemdin Protect Faridabad.
It's not working. Yeah, it's working.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, hi, I am Karan from Jemdin Protect Faridabad. I just want to ask that.
Get the photograph out of the way. I can't see him.
Yeah, please give him the way.
I want to ask that.
Hello.
Do you have a different tooling for different hardness of rocks?
Yeah, we do.
Like, can you elaborate on that?
Well, it's depending on the hardness of the rock. We have the cutting structures. They are good for soft and medium hard and hard formations. In terms of the cutting structure, they are suited to those. In terms of grade and the shape of the carbide, which is exactly what we need for whatever hardness is.
Do we have something on the table? Can you elaborate that?
Yeah,
Can you bring this? That tricon.
Well, we can show you the carbides,
Yeah.
how they look like here, but then there are got many varieties to deal with the different rock structures. And something. Yeah.
Thank you.
Like
Let's put it like
carefully,
this.
careful.
Yeah.
Careful.
Okay.
Basically they are governed by IDC structures, like IDC codes. So depending on whether you are going from a very soft to very hard, and this carbide buttons which you see here, they are small, and there's a round carbides, you have spherical, you have conical, you have semi-conical, all shapes of carbides and the grades to deal with the rock formation which you're doing. It's very soft, it'll be very aggressive. If it's hard, it'll be shorter and more round. And different carbide grades will be available. There are different grades, in terms of tough, hard, whatever. So all kind of combination available, subject to, that go with IADC codes, and accordingly it is given.
Like, have you made any tool which you are proud of like that? A special tool for any rock tools?
We're still trying to be proud of, because we're just new in the game. We're looking for pride. We haven't started yet. We're just a year and a half now. So we'll be proud in due course, but we're very proud of what you're doing elsewhere.
Okay.
So we're looking for opportunities here. Then probably we can try for yourself. Then you can know how good it is.
Okay. Is it economical from China,
Price wise?
price wise?
Well, yeah, certainly. I do not know about Chinese price, but certainly it does compare very well with them. But performance wise, it is better than China. And certainly it's not more expensive than China. Can't be, because it's very similar cost structures.
Okay, are the tools ready that we can get? How much fast we can get the tools?
Well, it depends. It depends on what you are looking for. We have started actually keeping things in stock. In terms of whatever we are supplying, and we're trying to make an assessment of what is generally required, and they're trying to keep them in stock. But depending on what you need, we can tell you that exactly how much time you need to get back to you. But certainly we are building stocks to be able to, because we do believe that this segment requires tools at a very short lead time.
Right.
So that's one of the most essential things, and which is what we're trying to gear up and scale up to be able to do that. And that's been one of the reasons why we've not been able to really go out and into the marketplace, because we were required to be ready with that, so which is now available, and we should be able to do that. Let us know. We will give you our contact details and all that. So come back to you very soon, as quickly as possible.
Right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Any more questions from the audience?
Nobody makes it here, which makes us wonder
True.
why nobody makes it. I mean, is there something which is potential is not very sizable, or is it something which is not very, scale is not manageable in India, which is why nobody's here yet. So that again makes us think whether can we ride on this Indian requirement.
Which means that we have to rely to the China only, yeah?
Well,
We don't have the options.
No, you are right. But then again, that's one of the reasons why you're not able to really venture into that. It becomes too ambitious for us to handle.
Thank you, sir.
You have a lot of pressures now on the mud motors.
Yeah, I know. The people say, and in fact, we have been We've been approached by a company in America to make it for them. But, you know, we had all the discussions, but was still a little bit of a dithering on that, whether or not that it will be the right thing to do.
Good. Any further questions? Any more questions? Any questions on rock? Yeah, please give the microphone.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, when we drill in the rocks, what we observe that after certain drilling, suppose 50 meters, 60 meters drilling, the cones of the tricone bit gets free. So what are the possible reasons?
If I knew, I would have told you. I know why. Yeah, there could be reasons for whatever. I do not know. You know why they did, but generally, it does not do if it is not supposed to do. You know, maybe something to do with what application you do. I do not know. Maybe we can talk to a guy there, and he's sitting right behind you, he's right next to you. So maybe he can explain to you a little better. Maybe have you understood the question? Yeah, grab the mic and tell him.
Yeah, please.
That is a bearing issue. Then
Venkat, can you come forward, please? Yeah.
He's the man who's making all the design, so you can just talk to him.
that is the bearing design. If bearing is not withstand is more than 100 hours, then if bit is a 50 hours, 50 meter, then lost the bearing. That means design wise, cuttings will be enter into the bearing, then it damage the seal, then it will fail. Our design, we don't have that type. We are more protected on the seal.
So that's why they become free.
Yes. Lost the seal, then automatically mud along with some sedimentary like silica abrasive also there mix up that. Then it will be damage the seal. We always protect the seal.
So what's the alternate to that?
From our design wise, we protect the seal itself. We are giving the 90 to 100 hours bearing hours minimum. Like someone is asking for one question. What is the achievement of your product wise? One thing, recently HPCL in Krishna River, some Chinese bits they are using. Those sub-assemblies, in between of the, while drilling, they have lost the cutters. That means it's lost the seal and lost the carbide. Our bit, we have choose the 18-inch reamers. What we have supplied 3 reamers. After 100 hours, we have confirmed the 100 hours. The bits are 2 reamers we have did in 100 hours, they removed. Third reamer is going on. That is the one achievement. And recently, and that is going on the project. Another 3 more reamers for 24 inch. That manufacturing is going on. Second part, whatever Vishal is told, Brahmaputra River, Vipin Gupta, trenchless. Yes, they are buying from one of the Chinese or some Russian bits. Those bits are in 200 meters, they lost the bit.
Okay.
Why? Because those are in higher abrasive material. Then we have communicate to them, they are using for the PDC cutters.
Okay.
Those are in 200 meters. That is also one of the achievement for us.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Any questions? Yes, there is a question coming up. Can you give the microphone there?
Hey, good evening.
Yeah.
Talking about performance, what kind of rate of penetrations your bit you have achieved using your bits? You know.
Would you have any idea about that rate of penetration?
Can you take the microphone?
In generally HDD is lesser penetration rate compared to mining and oil well. But in H63 series, what we are using in 200 to 250 MPa type of the formation, 10 meters hole, 10 meters length, it will take for the 2 to 2.5 hours.
Okay, thank you.
Alpesh, you had one question. Yeah.
Is it good to use the metal seal bearing or rubber seal bearing?
Metal seals always is a sensitive. It manufacturing wise and design wise, if any small error, like it will be close tolerance we need to maintain. Otherwise it will be fail very fast. In O-ring seals, we protect the seal. Then like we use for the double seals or single seal will protected. Then it will be longer life. That's why we are giving in 90 to 100 bearing hours. Is a minimum. Is not possible, sir. It's not repairable.
Can you differentiate the IDC code of 537, 637 and 737?
If 537 and 637 and 737, generally 537 is 100 to 120 MPa we can use for that, and 180 to 230 to 40 MPa we use for the 637, about 250 to 300 we use for the 737.
Okay, these are all very broad things, but if you want very specifics, maybe we can give you one and interact and give you suiting to your requirements. They're very broad and something which is very generalized. Yeah. Yeah, he's already said. Yeah. Good. If you don't have any further questions, so thank you very much. Yeah, appreciate your opportunity.
Thank you. Now we have Mr. Mohit Agarwal. Where is Mohit? Please come on the stage. Let's go on.
Very good evening to all the dignitaries present over here. Firstly, I would like to thank Mr. Rajiv for giving such a wonderful opportunity and platform to speak upon the mud. So basically, I'm representing Trishul Group of Industries. We are a 39-year-old company and we've been associated with bentonite and drilling fluids right from our inception. And a couple of years back, we also started HDD division, through which we got first-hand knowledge of the drilling mud and all the technologies related to polymer as well. So today I'd like to discuss about like small things and queries which we regularly get from the fellow contractors. And the major one being like what is the bentonite and how it is to be used in rock. So first thing about using bentonite in rock is first we need to understand what exactly bentonite does in rock. So if we talk about Mr. Vishal was there, he's a stalwart of our industry. He has talked about all the, what do you say, machines and tools and all what are required. But mud plays a very important role in this. The first thing about the bentonite's role is regulating the temperature. It provides flowability, but the most important factor in this is it suspends the cuttings, the bore cuttings what you do while reaming. And once the bore cuttings are suspended, bentonite is used to push out of the bore hole. So if you talk to any of the contractor who's a specialist in rock, so they all would mention that clearing of the borehole is the most important thing to execute a successful rock crossing. So now the point comes in, what type of bentonite is required to suspend the cuttings and all. So the first thing would be a good gel strength. A good gel strength, what does it mean about is, gel strength is like which increase the stickiness between the two particles of bentonite. So exactly what it does is it would suspend the cuttings of the rock, plus it would push outside. जो टाइम और डिस्टेंस उसको ट्रैवल करना पड़ेगा एक पार्टिकल को या रॉक को, तो अगर उसमें अच्छा एक जेल स्ट्रेंथ होगा उस बेंटोनाइट में, it would help to push out. So that is one of the most important thing, that gel strength should be good. Second is viscosity. Now viscosity, like Mr. Rajiv has rightly put over here, there is the Marsh funnel that is used to measure the viscosity. So viscosity should be in the range of 50 plus minus, again depends upon the condition and depends upon the project. But yes, these are the points which are, very less talked about. Generally contractors, what they talk about is कि bentonite कितने का है, क्या पड़ेगा, क्या नहीं पड़ेगा. But the properties which they need to concentrate are very important. Third one is sand content. If your bentonite has high sand content, the disadvantages associated with bentonite are much more than what the cost of the bentonite would be. High sand content would make the mud heavy, plus disposal also would be a major cost. Thirdly, the pump lining, seals, those would get damaged. So again, the sand content should be less than 1 or 2%. Whatever best possible minimum thing should be there, it should be there. And fourth, सब लोगों को लगता है कि बेंटोनाइट बहुत ज़्यादा पंप इन करने से आपका रॉक जो क्रॉसिंग है वो इजी हो जाएगा, जबकि ऐसा नहीं है. ज़्यादा बेंटोनाइट पंप करने से क्या होता है, बेसिकली योर मड बिकम्स हेवी. So you don't need a heavy bentonite to do the crossing. Heavy bentonite से क्या होगा, your frackouts would happen. It would be a major thing. कितना भी अच्छा सिस्टम आप देव मेहता जी से ले लो, बट अगर फ्रैक आउट हो गया, यू आर नॉट गेटिंग रिटर्न्स, यू वोंट बी एबल टू रिसाइकिल. तो इवेंचुअली योर प्रोजेक्ट कॉस्ट इज शूटिंग अप. आप लोगों का जो काम शायद 10 टन में होना है वो 50 टन में हो रहा है. सो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज रिक्वायर्ड इज कि आपको 3 से 4%, 5% कम कंसंट्रेशन के अंदर बेसिकली यू नीड गुड विस्कोसिटी, यू नीड गुड जेल स्ट्रेंथ. एंड फॉर दैट दीज डेज पॉलीमर्स आर देयर. Basically, when you mix polymers with bentonite, it would give you required gel strength, required viscosity in much lower concentration, and that would again help you in mud disposal and all those things. So these are few things which should be taken care of in rock. Second thing is the mixed strata. कि कहीं कहीं पे आजकल क्या हो रहा है कि रॉक जैसे सॉइल है सैंडी स्ट्रेटा, उसके साथ में क्ले आ रहा है. So contractors need to understand that not every type of bentonite is suitable for all type of strata. अगर कहीं पे सॉइल है तो वहाँ पे अच्छी विस्कोसिटी चाहिएगी, बट अगर क्ले है, इन क्ले इफ यू पुट अ हेवी मड और अ हायर विस्कोसिटी देन इट वुड क्रिएट अ प्रॉब्लम. सो इन काइंड ऑफ मिक्स स्ट्रेटा you and your driller needs to sit together कि कहाँ पे क्या strata है. They need to understand with the help of cuttings, plus they need to understand with the torque levels and the pressure which is there. उसके हिसाब से अगर आपको जज करना पड़ेगा कि पहले कहाँ पे मड आ रहा है, कहाँ पे सॉइल आ रहा है, कहाँ पे क्ले आ रहा है, एंड अकॉर्डिंगली यू नीड टू चेंज द फॉर्मुलेशन ऑफ द मड यू आर यूजिंग. दैट इज़ हाउ आई थिंक यू कैन प्रिवेंट लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. सो प्लस हम लोगों ने कुछ वीडियोस भी बना रखे हैं विच विल बी सर्कुलेटिंग, तो उससे आप लोग काफ़ी पॉलीमर्स के बारे में आप जानकारी ले सकते हैं. Thank you so much. I'll be passing and I'll be giving the mic to Mr. Mohit and he'll be taking the session further.
Thank you,
so
Akshay.
much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
I
you.
would request everybody to please come inside and listen the importance of mud. Mud is the lifeline of HDD. Please come inside. Can you request people to come inside, please? So Mohit, we have some questions. What is the importance of mud in HDD with specific to rock drilling? I would like specific to rock drilling because that's the area where the mud is needed most.
Yeah, hi. As Akshay has already spoken length about rock crossings, but majorly people who are doing rock crossings are neglecting a fact that is borehole pressure. So the borehole pressure is increased with heavy density of mud. So that is the first thing which adds the borehole pressure. Secondly, it also adds in the mud pump pressure when you're operating the mud pumps, you have heavy mud pump pressure because of the heaviness, the density of the mud. So when you're doing rock crossings, again, we always say that you don't have to increase the mud density because already you have rock cuttings which are heavy in nature. So the sand has to come out. It will come out from somewhere or the other and they will try to find its way. So that is how the frack outs occur. Second is the cuttings. I think there is some mic outside. There's a microphone outside. So what happens is when you're drilling and the rock cuttings are already heavy, so the mud will try to punch out from one place or the other. So that is how your problem increases in rock. And the suspension of rock cuttings is very important because if you don't have a clear borehole, the rock cuttings will start jamming your whole bore. And that is when your reamers can get stuck, or if you're doing your pilot, you will end up choking your drill pipe and you'll stop getting the penetration and probably you'll get a stuck drill string. So that is the importance of bentonite and polymer in rock, and mainly the people who do big crossings or like big contractors, they are very much aware of this factor that we have to clear the cuttings. But for the small contractors, unfortunately, they have this mindset that if we add bentonite, we'll be adding in the cost. But
unfortunately, that's not the case, and especially with CGD, because CGD is a very competitive market and people are bidding in competitive rates, the prices are tight, the locations are tight. So especially for CGD, I would like to highlight that we have developed polymers wherein you don't need big mixing setups, and you just can use these polymers with small mixing setups, and still these work more efficiently and as good as the bentonite setups will work. Plus, there should not be reservation for using additives. In fact, CGD people have, I think, BPC, GAIL people have left,
Yeah.
but I would, highly recommend that usage of polymers should be made mandatory when they're doing city gas and smaller lines, because it's a win-win situation. You're damaging your pipes. The safety of pipe is being compromised. Plus, your drilling rate gets low because you're technically drilling with water maximum of the times. So when you're drilling with the water, you don't have the penetration, you don't have the cuttings coming out. Your transmitters, if anyone wants to pay Rajiv Gupta a lot of amount for transmitters, damaged transmitters, you're welcome, because bentonite and polymers will cool the transmitters. So you have to save the electrical part also. And if you're losing the frequencies, again, that can be an issue because your transmitter is getting damaged and you don't know, you're not even aware about it. So CGD and small contractors wherein they're using 30 to 45 tons of machines, there is a very big challenge and reservation about using bentonite and polymers in rock. And that is what is reducing your output and it is delaying the projects. Plus, the contractor is losing a big amount on tooling, which he's not even considering, because these toolings are way expensive than what they spend on mud. Plus, the wear and tear of the tooling, the loads on the machine, the torque on the machine, they're spoiling their equipment. So that is when I think Mr. Ravi had asked that why there is so much of breakdowns and maintenance issues and all that, because people are just using the capacity of the rig to pull and push by force, not doing a scientific or a technical approach is there. So that will be all for the rock crossings, what I would like to add up. Yeah, sure. Just a minute.
How to bridge that gap, that knowledge gap, because we have seen a lot of people are coming doing HED and machine breakdown, and we have to call some other vendor to do the same job. It is actually mostly we can see that they are not aware of it, first of all, and there is no intensity to understand also.
Exactly.
That is how to bridge that gap. That is now very much required. Now wherever we see HED is moreover is being done continuously everywhere. So it is better to, I think you should also come with some help to bridge that gap. Otherwise, whoever take machine, at least you voluntarily or you should to promote your product or to do anything, at least you have to bridge that gap. That's what I mean.
So I'll address your question this way. For the bigger contractors, if I start with, we are running regular mud schools with them and their team. And on this forum, I would like to announce that we can start mud schools online and offline for all the small big contractors, and we would not be charging for it, because these mud schools will help your team on ground. They will get the basic knowledge that what is bentonite, what are the polymers, what are the general problems you face. Because see, HDD definitely every day is a new challenge, but on the whole there are few major challenges which they are facing every day, but they're not even realizing. So we would like to start mud schools for everyone, offline, online. Everybody on a site has a smartphone nowadays and a laptop. So you don't have to fly down to Jodhpur or anywhere to our facility in Gujarat or somewhere to come and attend the mud school. We can give an online mud school, and we are doing it for not only in India, we're doing for globally. So these mud schools is the first way how I address your question. Second is, sometimes in India you have to do things by force. There are not things contractor will do voluntarily wherein any finance is included, financial cost is included. So that is why I requested that adding the polymers and bentonite usage. And when I'm saying this, I'm not saying you put my name or any brand name in that. You just put that usage of polymer and bentonite is mandatory if you have to execute this HDD. So that is how your EICs on ground can ensure that the contractors are using bentonite, and once they start using for 1 or 2 jobs, they will definitely start using it frequently and in the right way, because ultimately it is a saving to them in terms of time, in terms of tooling cost, and in terms of the rig life. So it's a win-win situation, I would like to say. So this is how we need to implement it on ground.
Yeah, basically what I mean to say is the HDD who are doing major crossing, big players, they know what is this thing.
Yes.
See, like normally what happens is in pipeline, with the contractors who do the pipeline laying job, they take the job, but they will give it to whoever
Small
is the
contractors.
very least L1, you can put,
Yes.
whoever is the least they will give, and they will normally take. Actually, it is better we once upon a we felt it is better to open cut and do the blessing rather than doing
Hmm.
this SDD. So like that, so you have to take care of that whoever the contractor, you should at least attack them pipeline contractors
Mm.
and to give them a better understanding. That's what I mean.
I'll add up something from my side because we also own a few HDD rigs now. We are having our own rigs and we have been executing soft and rock jobs. In fact, we are our rig is deployed on Hasna this HCPL project only right now.
Where you are doing?
Change 335. We just completed the 335 a few days back, and now we'll be mobilizing on 305, that 350 meters rock crossing. So, yeah, Cortec, we're working with them. So I'll add up on this that, you're right. People do give it to small contractors who are not equipped, I'll say rather, to take up rock jobs. We are constantly trying to educate and create an awareness in small contractors. And we have kind of, now I'll say that we have achieved some level now, because after our mud schools, regular mud schools, people have been showing interest in polymers and bentonite now. Secondly, again, I'll say that by force is first and the most foremost reason. But yes, awareness now, people are asking and demanding for them the bentonite and polymers. Now people are even coming up and asking about the issues. Like Vishal sir said that if any issues there regarding tracking, we contact Rajiv ji. So now people have started approaching us. So now scenario is changing, and I feel in next coming 1 or 2 years, you will see a lot of difference in, the way how people are contractors are taking up rock jobs now. We are trying constantly for awareness. These kind of summits are being held. We are constantly promoting mud schools online, offline, and everyone around here is, trying to push the contractors for better mud solutions. And also, yes, I think the climate, you can say the atmosphere, the thinking and mindset of contractors is changing now.
Good. Thank you.
लॉग्स वगैरह लिया जाता है और पीपल नो कि भाई किस टाइप की सॉइल को वो टैकल करने वाले हैं और कैसे ये है. अगर आप एक सर्विस ऐसी कोई चालू करो कि भाई है ना बोर लॉग्स वगैरह कस्टमर आपको दे पाए और आप उसके लिए व्हाट इज द राइट मिक्स ऑफ बेंटोनाइट दे मस्ट यूज, अगर उस चीज पे एक एजुकेशन भी हो जाता है एंड एक काम भी उनका इजी हो जाता है. एंड व्हाट इज द मोस्ट कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव वे अगर आप उस चीज को प्रोवाइड करना चालू करो तो आई थिंक इट विल बी अ वेरी विन विन सिचुएशन.
ग्रेट क्वेश्चन सर. इसके लिए मैं 2 चीज़ें बताऊंगा. राजीव जी ने भी एक लॉग बुक रिसेंटली निकाली है. आई एम श्योर वी विल हैव इट हियर फॉर द डिस्प्ले. सो ही इज़ वेरी मच अवेयर एंड एक्टिव इन दिस फील्ड, एंड आई वुड गिव सम क्रेडिट टू हिम बिकॉज ही टोल्ड मी कि आपने जो चीज़ बोली कि सम मिक्सिंग चार्ट, a set formula has to be there for a certain type of soil. ठीक है, that is not an accurate thing, but on an average we have tried to mention that this should be the bentonite dosage, this should be the polymer dosage as per the sand condition, like you're working in clay, rock, sand, so this should be the composition. तो हमने ये चीज़ किया है. सेकेंड चीज़ जो आप बोल रहे हैं सर, इसके लिए हमें कोई भी आपसे एडिशनल कॉस्ट की ज़रूरत नहीं है. We always, our first question when contractor is going, our first question is, do you have the board log report? Because वो मेरे लिए भी it is the first thing कि आप किस में जा रहे हो वो देखना ज़रूरी है. तो सर आप किसी भी टाइम when you start the project, if you will give the board log report to us, it is hardly a matter of hours for us to analyze it and what should be the best mix. And we have polymers designed specifically for each rock condition, soil, clay and everything. So it's not a very big issue, and we have already put up these charts on the logbooks now, which will be handy and in hand of the team which is working on ground. ऑफिस में जो भी ऊपर बैठे हैं सीनियर कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स हैं, पीपल हु हैव एक्सपीरियंस, दे स्टिल नो, बट अभी भी ऑन ग्राउंड जो नॉलेज है वो कम है. सो वी आर कॉन्स्टेंटली ट्राइंग टू एजुकेट द साइट पीपल फॉर दिस. एंड एज बॉस सेड कि हम लोग ये चीज़ बहुत इजीली कर सकते हैं कि बोर्ड लॉग रिपोर्ट को स्टडी करके वी कैन सजेस्ट अ मिक्स, बिकॉज नाउ डेज the major cost of bentonite is not bentonite, it's the transportation. Everyone here is struggling with the fuel cost and everything. We have recyclers, although I should not promote it. Dev ka business मुझे नहीं बढ़ाना चाहिए. But yes, as a fraternity, I would like to say and I would like to add that yes, recyclings are a good thing. बट अगेन अगर आप उसके साथ में टेस्टिंग्स प्रॉपर कर रहे हैं, आप अपना डोजेज कम कर रहे हैं बेंटोनाइट का, सो अल्टीमेटली यू सेव ऑन द ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट विच इज द मेजर कॉस्ट. एंड हम लोग सबको बोलते हैं कि आप पॉलीमर ऐड करो, बेंटोनाइट आपको कोई जरूरत नहीं फिर भी, क्योंकि हम लोग 20-25% तक कंजम्पशन कम कर सकते हैं बेंटोनाइट का पॉलीमर डालने से. बट पीपल थिंक कि 200 रुपए केजी का पॉलीमर है तो इट विल बी वेरी एक्सपेंसिव. नहीं बॉस, आप जब 10,000 रुपए टन का बेंटोनाइट आपने अगर 2 टन भी बचाया तो यू आर सेविंग 20,000 रुपीज बाय एडिंग 400 रुपीज केजी ए पॉलीमर. सो दिस इज द अमाउंट ऑफ कॉस्ट सेविंग एंड कटिंग व्हाट यू पीपल कैन डू. क्योंकि ट्रांसपोर्टेशन इज द मेजर चैलेंज. वी आर वर्किंग इन साउथ, वी आर वर्किंग इन आसाम ट्रेंचलेस. दे आर एग्जीक्यूटिंग ए जॉब ऑफ अराउंड 4 किलोmeters इन आसाम ब्रह्मपुत्र रिवर. So we had long discussion rounds with them for the mud quality. First time in so many years we had a discussion with a contractor on the technical ground, not on the financial ground. Otherwise it's क्या price लगेगा, what will be the cost, how can we do it? No, they sat with us. We did at least hundreds of sampling with them. We gave a mud solution wherein the bentonite composition is very low. It's as low up to 3%. And the other enhancement of quality is being done by polymer, because again the freight cost to Assam is somewhere around 8,000 rupees a ton. So that's a huge amount of cost, and they'll be using thousands of ton of bentonite, which they were assuming, but we have reduced it to 3-digit figure instead of a 4-digit figure. So that is the amount of saving you can do. तो मेरा यही जवाब है साहब कि बोर्ड लॉग रिपोर्ट के साथ में हम लोग, आप हमको अप्रोच करें, हम आपको राइट सेट्स ऑफ पॉलीमर बताएंगे और आपकी कॉस्ट उससे कटिंग होगी. इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी आर बेनिफिट. अगेन बेंटोनाइट ज्यादा बिकेगा, मुझे 2 पैसा ज्यादा मिलेगा, बट आर focus here is not commercial achievement. Our achievement should be how we are evolving and innovating with time. So this is my recommendation, that you should definitely approach your vendor with the board log report. He will give you a solution, and if anyone is not able to give, you're most welcome. We'll be always there for you.
सर एज अ कॉन्ट्रैक्टर मेंटेलिटी, आप भी खुद कॉन्ट्रैक्टर हो तो आपको पता ही होगा, बट क्या है कि ये सारा सब कुछ आपके इन हाउस है तो आपको उसका इतना इम्पैक्ट नहीं पड़ता होगा. अगर मेरी कपड़े की शोरूम है और एक ड्रेस में लेके सिला के पहन रहा हूँ तो मेरे को नहीं ये फर्क पड़ेगा उस हिसाब से. आपके लिए नहीं, बट जनरली कॉन्ट्रैक्टर मेंटेलिटी ये होती है, बेंटोनाइट सप्लायर बोलेगा हमारा पॉलीमर बेस्ड बेंटोनाइट है, ये है वो है, सारी सेल्समैनशिप लगती है. एक ट्रांसपेरेंट तरीके से अगर एक होना चाहिए कि भाई दिस इज द परसेंटेज ऑफ बेंटोनाइट, ये वाला पॉलीमर इतना है, ये इतना है, और ऑल पुट टुगेदर दिस इज द प्राइस. सो ईच इंग्रेडिएंट का प्राइस, और ये अगर ट्रांसपेरेंसी बढ़ती है तो आई एम श्योर ईच एंड एवरी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर विल बी रेडी एंड हैप्पी टू यूज दिस. तो क्या लैक ऑफ ट्रांसपेरेंसी और एक वर्ड कि भाई पॉलीमर बेस्ड है, ये है वो है, ये वो कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं देता है.
सर दो चीज बोलूंगा. एक तो जो आपने बोला खुद का ओन हाउस, डेफिनेटली इट्स अ बेनिफिट, बट सर जो कॉस्ट आपको ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का लगेगा वो मेरे को भी लगेगा. जो पॉलीमर का ड्यूटी, इंपोर्ट एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा लगेगा, मुझे भी लगेगा. सो वी आर नॉट हैविंग 100% मार्जिन. इट्स अ वॉल्यूम बेस्ड बिजनेस, सो इट्स अ 2 और 5% गेम. तो जैसा आप है, मैं आप सरप्राइज होंगे, मेरे खुद के पास में रिसाइकलिंग यूनिट है देव का. अगर मेरे लिए वो फ्री ऑफ चार्ज होता तो मैं कभी उसका ये सिस्टम नहीं खरीदता. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि मेरे लिए कॉस्ट कम है. तो मेरा खुद का साइड पे पहला इंस्ट्रक्शन है, विद बेंटोनाइट यू हैव टू यूज पॉलीमर, बिकॉज मैं खुद मेरा बेंटोनाइट कम यूज करना चाह रहा हूँ. नंबर 1. नंबर 2, जो आप बोल रहे हैं ट्रांसपेरेंसी, सर ये गलती इसमें सर दोनों की है, वेंडर की भी और कॉन्ट्रैक्टर की भी है. वो कैसे है कि कॉन्ट्रैक्टर डजंट हैव नॉलेज. नॉलेज क्या कि सर सबसे पहला आपके पास टेस्टिंग इक्विपमेंट क्या है, सर आप मेरे को बताएं साइट पे. आपके पास होगा तो भी मैं बोल रहा हूँ मैक्सिमम लोगों के पास मार्च फनल नहीं है. अभी क्या होता है, पीपल सी ऑन द मड टैंक पे, द लेमन एंड द फोरमैन विल स्टैंड अप एंड वो सर देखेगा, सर मड तो ठीक लग रहा है, मोटा लग रहा है सर, कि चलो चलने दो, विस्कोसिटी अच्छा है. सर आज पतला लग रहा है विस्कोसिटी, थोड़ा मड और ऐड कर देते हैं. सो दिस इज, हाँ. तो सर जब आप लोग यूज कर रहे हैं, आप ये 8-10 हजार रुपए का आइटम है, बट आपको ये पता नहीं है कि आपने बेंटोनाइट कितना डाला, तो आपको कॉस्ट तो आपने क्या किया, सिर्फ रेट ऑफ बेंटोनाइट पे नेगोशिएट किया. जिस क्रॉसिंग पे आपको सपोज 20 टन बेंटोनाइट डालना था, क्योंकि आपने मेजर ही नहीं किया मेरे को 50 विस्कोसिटी चाहिए, 40 चाहिए, आपने वहां पे 25 टन बेंटोनाइट डाल दिया, तो आपने मेरे से नेगोशिएट करके शायद 100-200 रुपए टन पे कम करा दिया, बट 5 टन आपने बेंटोनाइट एक्स्ट्रा डाल दिया। तो सबसे पहला तो सर क्लीनिंग स्टार्ट फ्रॉम इन हाउस। मैं बोलूंगा सबको टेस्टिंग इक्विपमेंट रखना चाहिए साइट पे, मार्च फनल रखिए। मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट कि आपको, जब मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि सैंड में 50 विस्कोसिटी रखना है, तो आप 60 क्यों डाल रहे हो, फर्स्ट थिंग वहां पे। सेकेंड चीज, सैंड कंटेंट किट है। अब आपके सैंड कंटेंट हाई हैं, रिसाइकलिंग यूनिट्स लगी हुई, आपकी मैश डैमेज है, स्क्रीन डैमेज है, बट फिर भी लोग चला रहे हैं, तो आप अपने सील पिस्टन लाइनर काट रहे हैं, आपकी कंजम्पशन स्पेयर्स की बढ़ गई और डाउन टाइम बढ़ गया, तो यहाँ से ये एसोसिएटेड कॉस्ट बढ़ रही है। बट आप अगर ये छोटा सा टेस्टिंग इक्विपमेंट रखेंगे साइड पे, तो यू आर सेविंग कॉस्ट। सेकेंडरी, ट्रांसपेरेंसी ऑन द प्राइसेस। सर, as of my understanding of 40 years, we have been into this trade from 40 years. This is my parental business. So bentonite की प्राइस में कभी भी बहुत बड़ा उछाल नहीं आया है. It is roaming in the same price segment, 2-4%, बहुत बड़ी कॉस्ट नहीं है. तो सर एक ट्रांसपेरेंसी है आप.
Okay. So we have Mr. Jimmy King here online.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeremy Jin. I'm the group director of Underground Magnetics USA, and I am participating this meeting from Des Moines, Iowa, USA. I am very excited, as everyone in the meeting, of the tremendous opportunities of Indians underground energy utility industry. In the last 30 years in the HDD business, I have witnessed the growth of underground utility infrastructure in first USA. Then I experienced the underground infrastructure growth in China. Now I believe it is India's turn. But this time, for Indian, the growth will be different, faster, and in a much large scale. The reason for that is that not like 30 years ago, today, Indian underground utility infrastructure developing will have more high technology based and more efficient tools and methods. And the whole Indian industry growth depends on the fast and large scale growth of energy industry. Underground Magnetic are very excited about the opportunity to grow with the Indian energy industry. We are very excited of opportunity of growth in India. We're working on some products that is more focused on oil and gas industry. We are to bring some new and more powerful products into India in next 6 months. We are committed to be a contributing member of the industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
In both, we started manufacturing shale shakers for ONGC and ADNOC Abu Dhabi in 1990. And that's when the company was started by a family. It was a family business. And in 2014, we got acquired by a company in America called Elgin.
The use of HDD.
Now we are Elgin Chemtron, but the family still has some equity in the Indian business. So we'll just play the video. You'll understand the basics, and then we'll go with the
Relative to
question.
the use of drilling fluids within the oil and gas industry, the use of drilling fluids within the horizontal directional drilling HDD industry is new. The use of HDD technology became mainstream around the 1980s, and the trends strongly suggest that the future of HDD drilling will follow a similar evolutionary cycle as experienced by the traditional oil and gas industry. So, it is only a matter of time before customized and highly engineered drilling fluids make their way into day-to-day HDD operations. Couple the evolution of drilling fluids with the escalating cost of waste management and disposal. the economic practicality of utilizing drilling fluids is dependent on the ability to recover and recycle. With increasingly expensive additives and the escalating cost of qualified talent, the HDD rig operators are left with a critical challenge: making profits while the business cost is surging. Elgin Separation Solutions pioneered the packaged mud recycling system decades ago. Operators quickly realized these systems are durable and premium, exuding maximum performance. Today, Elgin delivers turnkey solutions that solve challenging real-world problems. This is where our team shines, setting us apart from the competition. Drilled solids are those particles that enter the mud system in the form of cuttings from the drilling bit, back reamer, or borehole debris. One of the most important objectives in solids control is to remove as many of the large drilled solid particles as is practical during the first time that these solids are pumped out of the borehole. This must be done without significantly impacting the commercial drilling fluid solids, which requires properly designed and installed solids removal treating equipment, sized to process a minimum of 100% up to 125% of the mud circulation rate. The usage of engineered drilling fluids provides several benefits. However, using them without an effective
Hello? Yeah. So basically what you can see here is a shot of what Mohit was talking about. The cost of bentonite transportation has become so high that it makes a lot of sense to reuse that bentonite. And in order to reuse the bentonite, you need to go to 25 microns. The cut at which you need to re-put the whole thing in your mud system needs to be 25 microns. And this system here is a 1000 GPM owned by Bluegrass, coupled with that 250 Ring Connect rig. So this can process 1000 GPM of inflow. So the flow is split here on the bottom decks of both the shale shakers. The larger particles come down and go into the pit. And then there's 3 tanks in this. So the first cut is achieved by the desanders where you get to 75 microns. So 75 microns is सब बड़ी चीजें बाहर आ जाएगी, छोटी चीजें intermediate tank में जाएगी. Again, you put them in the hydrocyclones, which are the desilters, which will get you to 25 microns, और 25 microns को आपकी mud tank में वापस डाल के reuse करते रहोगे. So you can also maintain the viscosity and keep using the same bentonite. So I have seen crossings where 250-350 ton लग रहा था, वहाँ पे 20 ton से हो गया है. I think Mohit can also talk about that. There are multiple case studies we've done, so we can do these in all sizes. And छोटी से rig 32 ton rig से लेके 500 ton rig के साथ we have a system that works. And yeah, so can you continue?
Active solids control system can also lead to a wide variety of problems. Primary mechanical treatment systems remove formation solids using linear motion shakers or hydrocyclone devices, such as desanders and desilters. Elgin Separation Solutions manufactures various configurations of mud recycling mixing systems. They are designed based on the tonnage of the rig and the flow rate of the mud pump. Our portfolio of skid-mounted systems include Chemtron 200 HD2, Chemtron 300 HD2, Chemtron 300 HDX, Chemtron 400 HD2.
So the 300 HD2 is on display downstairs. It is being sold to Tech, which is a company operating in Bangalore. But the system is here for a demo. If anybody wants to go down and look at it, they can understand what the system, how the system works.
Chemtron 500 HD2, Chemtron 600 HD2, Chemtron 600 HDX, Chemtron 700 HDX, Chemtron 1000 HDX, and Chemtron 1500 HDX. While some drilling programs may vary, the most common setup can be illustrated here. The main parts of the drilling program for horizontal directional drilling are the mixing tank for charging the bentonite, mud pump, drilling rig, pit pump, and mud recycling system. Elgin Separation Solutions manufactures various configurations with and without such mixing setups. The system illustrated here, Chemtron 1000 HDX, is dependent on an external mixing setup. The process starts.
This covers most of it. Do you want us to go to the process? We can go through the process. Or we can just go to the questions then.
My point is to elaborate and tell people the importance of mud recyclers, because most of them are not aware of those things.
So, if you're drilling in rock, you get returns. Basically, when you're drilling in rock, the reamer is going and bringing the rock out and the sand out with it, and all of it is coming back. What do you do with it? Either you dump it, dilute it, or recycle it. So it makes complete sense to recycle. We also have other kinds of drillers not really doing a lot of jobs in rock, but they get some rock in the middle. For them, transportation cost is what helps. And using the same bentonite again and again also allows you to maintain the viscosity. So you don't need to keep charging it on a daily basis. So that's the main advantage, and it prevents all the equipment. So I think we have a good relationship with most of the rig manufacturers now because of mud pump failures. So, so I think mud pump failures are the biggest reason we've been able to sell
Correct.
multiple mud recycling systems, because the lack of education was कि हम जाली लगा देंगे, shale shaker लगा देंगे from alang and चल जाएगा. But it doesn't work like that. You have to go to 25 microns. Otherwise, even a small particle of sand can destroy your liners, pistons, and
Okay.
everything.
Yeah, that's true. I think there is a regulatory compliance in some cities that you have to use the mud recyclers, for example, in Mumbai or other places.
I think it's not said. The what they state is you cannot dump bentonite.
Yeah.
So when you state that it is a given that you have to have this.
Any questions on the mud recyclers? It's a very important subject. If somebody wants to, yeah, please give the microphone. Where's the microphone? Oh.
Of the bentonite being recovered. The only additional bentonite you're going to put in is when your annulus is increasing. So pehle, if you're going in a smaller hole, that's entire thing you can start recovering, and then every additional step, unless there's a frack out. Obviously, if there's a frack out in some place, like you can't help much. But as long as there's returns coming out, you can keep using it. So I know right now Trenchless is using recyclers on both ends of the bigger. They are all systems, and I think Bluegrass has also done that. So they always keep the recycling loop on both ends.
Any further questions?
It states that it is biodegradable, but if you want to still do that, then you just recycle, and you get a very viscous fluid then, and that's the only bentonite you've used. And baki ka, so disposal is very easy. So our company is based out of the US. Over there, the norms are very strict. So after recycling, they also have a centrifuge that you have to have clear water. That concept has not come in India yet, but ONGC, Oil India, they are all having those tenders now. Okay, all our rigs should have centrifuges. Our biggest customer right now is ONGC. So we are building 47 rigs for ONGC, and they have centrifuges on them. So wo aayega, but it is small steps because it is expensive, right? You buy some stuff from China, it's easier. People say कि हम लोग, it is a thing that I'll have in the future. मेरा 2-3 crossing हो जाएगा, मेरा ROI आएगा, फिर लूँगा. But then the old people, the big people. So NRP was the first customer. I don't know if they're here. They bought the
must be
system from
outside.
US directly, and now we are making it in India. So what sells for 2-3 crores in US, we are selling it for 60-65 lakhs in India. So there is a big difference. Obviously, we cannot compete with Chinese, but it is what it is.
The environment, it has an impact if you dispose bentonite outside. What is the impact? I don't know.
Mohit, do you want to?
Yeah, you can take a probably. No.
Sir, bentonite, I'll tell you a small thing.
Sir, marsh funnel लगा आगे. हटा लो.
Marsh funnel लगा. So, bentonite is used in fertilizers also. So, I'm just highlighting this point because bentonite is a naturally occurring mineral. So, it comes into category of mineral. It's a clay basically. So it's not harmful and it's not a chemical, first of all. But yes, the bentonite disposal has to be done in a proper technical way. You can't just put a dumper and you can't unload it on the ground like that. Yes, dry. So what you generally, like Vishal sir said, some people you add sawdust, and we even can use rice husk, which can be mixed into bentonite, and we need to layer it on ground in a specific thickness. And if you do it, it will help the farmers and it will be helpful for the even crops what they do, because it will hold the water retention, especially in rice and paddy fields. So people put bentonite so that they can retain and hold the water for longer durations. So basically it's not a radioactive or a hazardous chemical. It is just a biodegradable clay, but the disposal has to be done in a technical way. You just can't open a dumper and dump it like that. Plus, it will hold the water for long time. So what will happen? आपने अगर वहाँ डाल दिया तो it will get a slippery. It will be slippery for months and years. आप उसको dig करोगे नीचे से वापस bentonite निकलने लगेगा. So this is what the property of bentonite is. So this has to be taken care of. But yes, when you use Dev system, the disposal quantity where it is big, one dumper, it will reduce to a small quantity.
Underground magnetics team, please come on the stage. Everybody here on the stage. Shubham, Ratish, please come here. Kalesh. Mr. Sagar Reddy. Schwingstetter team, please come on the Schwingstetter team. Schwingstetter team. Come. Sanjay, sir. Sanjay, yeah. Mr. Deepak. Mr. Tariq Salman, Aditya Gaur. Tariq is not here. Arunji, please. Aditya, please join me. Shashi ji, Mr. Shashi Dandu. Mr. Shashi Dandu. Shashi Dandu ji. It's not available. Thank you, sir. Thank you for doing the honors. Thank you. With this, we'll close. Thank you all. Wonderful audience. Wonderful speakers. Thank you all.